Hello, I just wanted to kind of show you guys how I'm gonna create this angle on my door and make a template before I cut it. So this is a door for one of those Tudor houses that has the brick molding archway that I need to make my front door sit in. So here I've decided to try to make a template so I didn't have one shot at this. To do that, I put a piece of plywood here, piece of plywood here, because I didn't have a long enough piece of plywood 3 foot wide. Anyway, I already cut this one time, took it over to my customer's house, and it was I needed to take 5/8 off of the middle. Okay, so to be able to make this archway, your measurement has to be the same from a midpoint, which is right here. I've already checked it out. It has to be the same from here to your corner, from here to your top, the 5/8, and here to the other corner. All those measurements have to be the exact same for it to flow correctly. So what I'm gonna do is I took this stick and cut it longer than what my measurement was from the center point to the corner, center point top, center point corner. So I cut it just a little bit longer. So my measurement is supposed to be 37 and an eighth. That's what I figured out just by, as you can tell, testing it on all these little marks. So 37 and an eighth is what I made it. That's what you have to make your stick to the center of your screw. So we'll just go ahead, set that stick on there. Screw her down. Get you a pencil and start drawing your line. So it took off 5/8 in the middle. We're gonna hit our point just exactly. Boom. Isn't that beautiful? Then we'll bring it back this way. And we'll bring it the other way. So I'll go ahead and cut this with my jigsaw next, since I got that extra 5/8 out of the top, and I'll be back. Okay, now that I got my archway refigured out, I'm going to take my jigsaw and I'm going to cut on that line. I'm not going to cut all the way on the line. I'm going to leave a little bit off of the line so I can come back and sand it perfectly. Okay, coming back and look, you can see that I'm not quite up to my line yet. And that's why we do that, because we'll take the belt sander and snug it up perfectly. Throw a couple clamps on here to hold it down while we get the belt sander ready. After sanding, I sand it all the way up to my line. You can get it really smooth on there. Let's take it to the job site and see how we did. Well, here's our door at the customer's house. I'll take this up there and I'll just plop it on and see how it fits. Okay. I'd say that is about as perfect as you can get. So I'd say that looks good. Okay, back at the shop, and I want to take an extra eighth off the overall height of this door. So I'm just gonna scoop my template down an eighth of an inch, and then I'm gonna go ahead and transfer my line on here. And then I'll do the same process with the jigsaw of not cutting it all the way to the line. Then instead of the sander, I'll come back with my trim router. I'll clamp this on to right up next to my line and use my trim router and pull it all off. Okay, I'm going to trim or cut the top of this door now, since we have our angle that matches perfectly with our opening. So I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, well, I got my archway cut, and this is why we don't cut the finished cut with a jigsaw. As you can tell, the jigsaw blade must have been like this as I was cutting. So if you look down at the outside is out farther than the line. So I'm going to put my template back up here. This little guy that we know already fits perfectly. Put that back on here. I'll clamp it down, take the trim router to it, and we'll be perfect. Okay, this is the bit that I'm going to be using. This bearing here is going to be riding on my template underneath right here as this cutter cuts it flush to whatever that bearing is running on. I've set my router so that bearing will ride right on that. Okay, here goes another. So I ran into a problem when trying to cut this because this router bit isn't long enough. When the wheel was riding on it, it was contacting it way up here and it wasn't allowing it to cut into the wood. So we're gonna have to try to access the template with this little bearing here and have the cutter go down. That way it can hit it on the top this time and cut down, and we don't have to cut all of it off at a time. After we do that, we can lower it down to here and then cut the rest off. Well, that one worked quite a bit better. As you can see, this top now is exactly flush with my template. So that's why we make a template. In case we're wrong the first time, we can go back and change it and then use it to make everything perfect as we get it perfect. Okay, I trimmed that rest of that little piece off at the bottom, and we now have our arch on the top of our door that is going to fit perfectly with the brick on the Tudor house. So the reason we do it like that, the process like that, is so that if you notice, this right here is a perfect 90-degree angle. Same with this. So when you do it with this, you know you're always going to have perfectly square on your board here, just like that. Perfectly square every single time. That's why we do that. Now it's time to come in and polish up this edge here with the belt sander. So I'll just sand it on the side, then I'll sand the rest of the whole door, front and back, and then put my edges on the sides and in the middle. And I'll have to cut out a recess in the back of the door to hold the glass that's going in there. Well, I just got done putting in the recess for the glass. There we go. So this is the back side of the door. We put on our little 1/8 inch round over on all the sides of the door. Now it's time to take it to the job site and see how I did. Okay, I got the hinges on. Looks pretty good in there, and it swings well. So the only other thing now, I just have to take it back to the shop, finish sand the whole thing. Works good. Then put the plexiglass in. Opens nice. Go, just get a latch to stick on it right here somewhere, and we'll be good. Well, that's it. I guess I'll take a couple pictures and whatnot after it gets all painted and we get the door back on and everything is completely done. But I think for now that will be the end of my video. So I hope you enjoyed it and come back for some more. Bye.